Welcome to the Noise Podcast, brought to you as part of the Noise Podcast Network and in association with Liquid Death. Thanks for murdering our thirst. I'm Will, and you're about to hear episode 7 of Favourite Noizzes, the show where we talk to bands we love about how their year's been, most of all, their favourite records from this year, and what their plans look like for 2025. I'm joined by vocalist of Australian progressive metalcore band Reliqa, Monique, and we talk for a good while. This is another bumper episode. We talk for around 50 minutes about, first of all, how things have been with them this year, all the cool tours they've done, including the one they just wrapped up, Good Things, a week ago, and well, a week ago as of recording. And we talk a bit about some of her favourite records from this year, some really, really good shouts. Have a really nice discussion about both of them, actually, two of the picks she has. And we talk about what's coming up next for them. They're a superb band. They released their debut album this year, Secrets of the Future, on Nuclear Blast. Strongly recommend them. Super cool band. She's a phenomenal vocalist. Lovely chat. Yeah, if you enjoy the episode, please do make sure to follow us on Twitter at Noise Podcast and Instagram at Noise Podcast Network. You can find our main site on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now Blue Sky at Noise UK. Please do drop us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to listen wherever you get your podcasts, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, all the good places, and probably some others too. If you fancy checking out our Spotify Essentials playlist, or you even want to be a legend and buy some merch, check out the link in our bio. And if you're feeling extra kind, even more kind than before, it's a lovely time of year. You're feeling super, super, super kind. Drop us a review on your platform of choice. It all helps us more than you'd think. Thank you and enjoy the episode. I'm joined by Monique from the excellent Australian progressive metalcore, I guess is sort of roughly I remember where we talked about terming you sort of last time, band Reliqa, who released their debut album earlier in the year, Secrets of the Future. Thank you for joining us, first of all, and how are you doing?
Thank you. Happy to be here. Sorry, I literally just realized that there are cicadas. Like, do you know what a cicada is? A
Uh,
cicada? Maybe you would hear cicada in America.
yes, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're not from America, but they call them cicadas. There's here in Australian summer, it is so loud outside all the time. It probably sounds a little bit nicer now because I just closed the door. Literally, like 10 meters to my left, there's a tree full of cicadas, and they are so loud. So
I
I'm
actually,
here. I'm happy to be here, but no more cicadas in our microphone. No, no, no.
I actually couldn't hear them. I actually couldn't hear them
Oh,
anyway. So
okay, that's good. Well, great. I because it's suddenly become a lot quieter in here, which is nice.
yeah, I keep forgetting that like the opposite side of the world means opposite side of the year as well. So it must be.
Well, it's hot. It's summer. That's why the cicadas are screaming like crazy. They also piss on you. Fun fact. Like
Oh,
if you stand under any tree in Australia at this time of year, it'll feel like it's raining. It's not rain.
take your umbrellas with you.
You really should.
God.
Yeah, it's a bit yikes, but that's one of the things that people they think about drop bears, they think about the magpies, they think about the spiders and the snakes, but they don't think about the cicadas pissing on you. But it's a real
Everyone
thing.
forgets to piss, Brolly.
Yeah.
Christ, what a start.
Oh, I know. But yes, thank you for having me. Stoked to be here.
And it's a good summer, and you're not either being screamed at or peed on by cicadas, which is a good start.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Perfect. And I mean, as I mentioned, Relica, you released your debut album earlier in the year. We think we said it
Yeah.
was, yeah, we said it was May, didn't we? Yeah, it was at tail end of May.
It
How's
was
that been
May.
since, yeah, how's that been since then? Because, I know we spoke in, again, sort of April-ish, early May time, and
Mm,
I was telling you how much I enjoyed the record and still do. But,
I'm
obviously
so
you've
glad.
done some really cool stuff off the back of that as well.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. It's yeah, like since I last spoke to you, as I was saying, so much has happened. The album I think has been received really well. I'm very humbled and stoked by, the reception. And I think one thing that I've been really reflecting on as the year comes to a close is not only how our fan base has expanded as a result of this album, because it has, in terms of volume, it has grown, But I'm not even talking about the amount of people around us. I'm talking about the diversity of our listenership, like of because as you know, the music that we make, progressive metalcore or whatever you want to call it, is quite difficult to define genre-wise. Um, that naturally ends up attracting all different kinds of listeners. Like especially I mean, since Spotify Wrapped came out just the other day, it's been really cool seeing our fans, tag us in their wrapped sort of stories on Instagram and how different the lineups have been, like, or at least the different artists that they listen to alongside Reliqa in their top listenership. It's been different every single time, and I just think that that is such a testament to this sort of just this diverse sphere that we've been trying to build. And that's what Secrets of the Future really was. It's like something for everyone and sort of like dipping our toes into all different kinds of the music spectrum. So the fact that like looking back on the year that has just been, and oh my God, like so many incredible shows too, like we sort of brought upon new audiences through those shows too, with Periphery, Dayseeker, Hailstorm, like heaps has happened this year. But just I love looking back and seeing how different all of our fans are from each other and how many different communities they are a part of, pop, rap, pop punk, like metalcore, hardcore, all of these different like sort of fan bases, they tend to like collide in a really beautiful way in our circles, which is just that's one of my favorite things that I've picked up from this
Yeah.
album cycle and this year.
I mean, just alone on those three bands, those are like three really different bands,
Exactly,
like
exactly.
you
You've
wouldn't
got
necessarily,
Dayseeker.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like they could
Dayseeker on
work
the
on a
pop
bill
side of the
together,
spectrum.
but yeah.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, but it's I mean, no, you're that's actually such a great inference there. They are really all very different. And but I do still we felt right at home on each lineup too. So isn't that like I think that that's that I think for us, at least in terms of our personal goals in the music that we make, that's ticking the box. That means we're heading in the right direction because we're sort of like being able to sort of be chameleons on different lineups. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And all the while, it's like it's not like you're making completely different music to suit each group. You're actually going out there and going, no, 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 it's the same songs,
Yeah.
but you're
No,
picking, but someone's picking up something different from each one. Like someone might be going, I really love like the rap parts you do in there, or someone else might can't then go, actually, I love like the proggy like instrumentals. And other
exactly.
people are like the melodies and or the harmonies are like my jam.
Yes, yes. And I absolutely love how um that's not like it's not it's not something that we're trying to do to fit a particular mold. Like we're not saying, oh, we want to tour with Periphery, so we're going to write an album that sounds like Periphery. Like it just so happens that we fall into those lineups and into those like soundscapes quite
Yeah.
comfortably in the end. And it's just like we're just trying to be as authentic as possible, and I'm just really stoked with where that's gotten us.
Yeah, I mean it's done really well. And haven't you just done is it the Good Things tour you've just
Good
come off
thing.
as well? Like,
Yeah.
how was
Yeah, with
that?
Corn and everyone. Yeah. Oh, it was unreal. Yeah, we literally just last week we finished that. So
Wow, okay,
um
recent.
yeah, it was. It was very, you're coming in at the perfect time, like having just finished that tour. It's all fresh in my memory. Yeah, like just an incredible package there. Corn, Electric Callboy, North Lane, Butterfly Effect were on there, Sleeping with Sirens, like all kinds of incredible bands. And just being I think that what if we're talking about the year in review and like having Good Things being like the bookend of that year, like being like this touring festival that sort of it was almost like a celebration of what has just been because like it was a
Yeah.
big party. The whole thing was just a big party. Um, I think that I I lost my train of thought what I was saying there, but like that being a bookend of the year, felt like such a full circle moment. We have been like active fans of that festival, being going to that festival every single year as punters. Like so being there as an artist this year was like really humbling. And oh, I remember what I was going to say. I think one of the key themes for this year, like and looking back in reflection, is like how much of a level up we've done in terms of the professionalism of our band as a unit. And like this festival was the perfect way to assess that, I suppose, was because we had the best crew behind us and the tour went so smoothly. And I feel like we fit really well amongst these bands that, we've been looking up to for so long, which I'm so, so humbled to be able to say that, like, I didn't feel like we stuck out as the little guys, even though we were literally like I think definitely the smallest act on the bill. We were the babies there. But I didn't feel like that, we felt well like we belonged. We'd worked really hard for this, and this album like got us there ultimately. And it was just really affirming in so many ways to be there.
Nice. That's really good to hear. And like, I was just thinking when you were talking about it, it's like that lineup, and this is, I mean this in the best way possible. That lineup is all over the place,
It really is.
and that's
Yeah, it's
really cool.
such a variety. Yeah, such a variety. That every year that festival has been something special in terms of the the twists and turns that they take when with their packages. Like previous headliners you've had like Bring Me the Horizon, Deftones, Parkway, um but then you've also got bands like Tism and like kind of some of those more classic bands. This year they had Violent Femmes, like uh Jet, The Living End, all of these crazy like Australian heroes, like Australian and beyond, of course. Like so many different genres, but they collide in the best way. It's so sweet.
Yeah, and it's really cool that that you can be on a package like that and be the band that almost dips into every single one of those sort of different sounds.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's such a nice way to put it. I appreciate that.
So coming on from there, we said it's been a great year for Relica. It's been a great year for alternative music, and it feels like just like music as a whole as well. You know,
Absolutely.
so the next thing I wanted to talk about is sort of like your favorite record from this year and what that's been.
Mm. Oh my gosh, there are so many answers that I could give you. Like I was just thinking about my album of the year list the other day and like how stacked it is and how many bands almost made the cut but didn't. Like I I honestly think I have to I think I have to give my record of the year. Oh wait, no. No. Okay, can I give you my top five and then I'll tell you about my number one, which one is number one on that list?
Let's do it, yeah.
Okay, okay. This is speed round. I will not take too much of your time. Linkin Park From Zero was incredible. Halsey, The Great Impersonator. That's not a heavy album, but the storytelling on that record was just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, 21 Pilots Clancy. That was a great record as well. This is not an album, but an EP. North Lane Mirror's Edge was fantastic. But I think I'm gonna have to give my album of the year to Bring Me the Horizon Posthuman Next Gen.
Okay, interesting.
I think that
Some
one is my
really,
yeah.
yeah, really diverse kind of shouts there as well. Like, so the Linkin Park record, it's a friend of mine has been a Linkin Park fan for. I mean, I've been a Linkin Park fan for years as well, but he's a huge fan to the point, we got him like the hybrid. Was it the hybrid? No, the Meteora box set they did a few years ago. We got him it
Oh
for his
wow,
birthday.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, like that was his album of the year, and we talked about it. And my thing was, I don't think anyone ever expected to hear another Linkin Park record.
No, that's exactly right.
Let alone one that, even though I don't love all of it, my favorite thing about that album is that they sound like they're having fun.
Yes. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And they sound like Linkin Park. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah,
I listened through from top to bottom. I love to listen to albums on drives. So like, I'll always pick a long drive and I will listen to the album. And I listened to it front to back and I audibly said out loud to myself, like embarrassingly, but just when the album finished, I was like, "Yep, that's Linkin Park." Like
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there was the conversation around that album was so tumultuous, like with Emily Armstrong being part of the picture, and like how are they going to honor Chester's legacy without disrespecting or without stepping over his toes and things. And I think that they did such an amazing job of capturing, like keeping it authentic to what they sound like. And just that is such a classic Linkin Park sound. It sounded like Meteora mixed with some of their maybe their newer material, a little bit of hybrid theory thrown in there. But Emily, still stayed true to, I think, like they didn't just, you can tell the brief was not just be Chester. It was be yourself, but thankfully she sounded like she fills a similar space that Chester did.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the
so I
grit,
think that
isn't it? Like that grit in her voice is
yeah,
like there's moments where I'm like, that sounds and like you said, I know that she's because I don't know if you watched the live stream when they
I
announced all of
did. I
this. Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
so did
I
I.
was all over it.
And when they went and he said, "In Chester's shoes tonight is all of you," and I thought
It's
that was
all
the
of
like
you.
that's the best way to do it is to say they've always been very clear. Like she is not replacing Chester. She is
Yeah.
just she is the singer of Linkin Park now.
Yeah.
And it's like it's Linkin Park 2.0, I guess you could say.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
she fills like some similar spaces
Yeah.
sometimes, but it's
Hmm.
very clear the brief was just be you
Yeah.
on Linkin Park songs, you know?
Yes, I couldn't agree more. You said that perfectly. I think that that was I remember when Mike said that exact thing, and filling the shoes of Chester Bennington is all of you. I honestly I shed a bit of a tear in that moment because I was wondering how they were going to address it. I was like, how are they going to honor his legacy? And I was just like, like I think
By
that
just
he
handing
did
it
it
to the
in the
fans.
perfect way. Hand it to the fans. They're going to sing for him. His spirit is being channeled through them. And exactly right. Emily just sings for Linkin Park now, and she does it fantastically. She's got that very similar timbre. Her voice works really well with Mike's. Um, I can't even say it in any simpler terms than it's a Linkin Park album, and Linkin Park fucking rip. So like,
Yeah.
what's not to love? You know what I mean? Sorry about my
Yeah.
language.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you're
I
fine.
hope.
But no, you're right. And it's just to hear them and I think it was the is it the Two-Faced video where they're clearly like it gave me like the like Will Smith Men in Black vibes with like the suits and just clearly having a
Yeah,
laugh and I was like it's just they're having fun.
it's
And
just fun.
to
Yeah,
see a band that's been through that come back 7 years later when I never expected to hear a note from them again
yeah,
and to release singles that sound like what they when I first fell in love with them fucking 20 years ago.
yeah. The Emptiness Machine was such a perfect song to kick off
It
on. The
fucking
fact that it
rips.
even if you like look deeper into it, the fact that the first verse opens with Mike, it's like we're in familiar territory. Like he's
Yeah.
he's doing what he does best. And then we have a killer chorus.
And
We
now
kick
we're
in, and
introducing,
then we
yeah,
introduce Emma. I'm just like the theatrics of it all. It's just yeah, it's so much fun, and I'm just really enjoying being part of this universe again. I think that she like her stage presence is phenomenal. Her voice is just yeah, it's so well suited. And yeah, there are so many bangers on that album. Like you've got even I was literally just listening to the closing track Good Things Go. I think that was a fantastic closer. Like
yeah,
it's got that sort of melancholy that it sort of hits the emotional tones that Linkin Park do quite well. Not just the angry stuff. Like Heavy as the Crown fills that void really well. That was a fantastic second single. Honestly, even all the singles were bangers. What was the one that was just Emily talking over each other is called,
yeah.
like I think it's called Over Each Other.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I've had that song on repeat. It's beautiful, and the music video was fantastic too. Oh, yeah, I could talk about this album for ages because I just really enjoyed
Part
being
of the
back
Linkin Park.
involved with
Yeah.
this. Yeah, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. No, I think that was the one single where I was like, I'm not quite in. I think
A lot of people
I
said
understood
that.
why people really like it because it was much more like of the modern Linkin Park stuff,
It
maybe
was,
Minutes
it
to
was.
Midnight onwards. And that's,
Yeah,
you know, and I'm not a purist by any stretch, but that's not the stuff that I love. You know, my favorite Linkin Park albums are because I'm a boring old bastard, Hybrid Theory and
of
Meteora.
course, of course. No, well, same.
But
Like they're
yeah,
my favorites as well.
Yeah, but like, I've got friends that absolutely love the modern output. My friend who, as I mentioned, like he loves all of it. So I'm
Yeah.
hardly going to be like, ah, shit. I'm just going to go, it's just not like totally for me. I'll just listen
Yeah.
to the record when it turns up. The Emptiness Machine was good enough that I pre-ordered the fucking vinyl, so I was already like I was
Yeah.
already
You're on
invested.
board. Yeah.
And then I heard the record and was like, it makes more sense on the record.
In the
I
record.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that was
just
my
think it's
big
a
thing is it's
solid,
like,
it's just a solid rock. Like, I mean, I don't want to call it a rock ballad because it's not a ballad, but like, it's just a solid rock song. I just think that the writing was like, I can't go, like, I keep coming back to this idea of like, yep, that's Linkin Park. Like,
yeah,
it's simple. I think they haven't overcomplicated the formula. Even songs like Cut the Bridge. I think Cut the Bridge is the second song on the album from memory.
yeah, I think
I've
so.
rinsed this album. I've listened so many times. Like it's been so perfect to just chuck on and have at the gym or like, it's like this easily digestible 30-minute package that has just been so easy to just like rinse and repeat over and over. But yeah, Cut the Bridge, I think, is the second song. That song is so simple. Um,
Yeah,
but it just works. They've got a formula. They've known the formula for years and years. We're talking decades at this point, or like at least over one decade. Maybe yeah, it's like over 2 decades now.
yeah,
They've had the formula. They built that formula. Like they were the blueprint of it, and they're it's cool. They're like introducing new aspects to it through that, like you said, that more modern output of Linkin Park, introducing new flavors to it, but the core of each song remains, very true to their original
yeah,
taste. And it works. They've just got something going on that works. It ticks every box for me. I really enjoy the song. What is it? Um, I can hear it. Coming down, it's coming down, coming down. I can't think of what. Na, 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 na,
I'm trying to
na,
think now.
na,
I don't
na,
know.
I can't think of what song it's called. Overflow. There we go. I was like
I
singing
was
it
going to
in my
say
head.
I've just pulled it
That
up on
was
Spotify and I was going to
that
start
was
naming
such an
songs.
annoying. That was such an annoying aside. Like sorry to your listeners for me just like humming that whole song just then. But Overflow, that is a really cool example of like they've added modern touch. Like I think there's some really cool like vocal treatment in there that sounds kind of and like almost like Mike's rap delivery is a little bit more 2020s. But I
Yeah,
enjoy it. I'm like, go off, like
yeah,
millennial dad. Like go come to the times. Yes, let's go. But I think he's doing it really well. And I mean, Mike has always been a pioneer, and always been quite experimental, even in his side projects and things, like he's always had some cool stylings going on. So it's
yeah.
fun. Yeah, like it all comes back to that idea of fun. Like it seems like they're really enjoying what they're
Yeah, it
doing.
just sounds like it's an album made out of sheer happiness at being Linkin Park again. And like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
even if you don't, I would say like, and I know obviously we're on the same page here, but like even to people who are like, oh, I don't really care for Emily as the new singer, I'm like, well, A, you're wrong, but also B, they're
Yeah,
having
yeah.
fun. Like, what more do you want for them than for this to just be a band that have gone through hell and have come back and gone, we're happy now. Like, let them just let them be happy on their own terms. That's the
I,
main
I
thing.
I couldn't agree more. And the fact that like it's a privilege for us to just be able to engage with Linkin Park again. Like
Yeah,
this isn't a situation of a band that is beating a dead horse and should have retired long ago. Like Linkin Park did not fall under that category. I definitely agree that bands need to have their time, like we're talking bands like Metallica, like God bless them, love them, doing their thing, but they've had such a long and storied career that I think that it would be more than acceptable for them to call it a day at any point from now and fans can be happy. But
yeah,
bands like Linkin Park, there was still so much fight and like fuel in that fire still to go. It's just so unfortunate that things were bookended for them with the passing of Chester, like that but I'm just glad that that wasn't the end of their story, like they took a hiatus, well deserved, of course, but why wouldn't you not just be stoked that they're back? Like, this
Yeah.
is sick. Like, they never, like, should have gone anywhere. It's just unfortunate circumstances. And I'm just glad that they've, taken that time to rekindle the passion. And now they're back and better than ever. And it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that was your sort of in the top five, and there are four other
I
records we could
know.
chat
Here we
about.
are talking about my like number four record or something. Maybe like for sentimental value, I think that it probably does deserve a number one spot for me. Like, of course, like it's a short package. It's 30 minutes long, but and so it doesn't really feel like quite that like album of the year like heavy hitter for me. But I think the story behind it
Yeah.
deserves an
I
honorable.
I also just really love that it is only half an hour as well,
Yeah,
because
me too.
they could have, and I honestly think it would have diluted things if they'd come back with a 45, 50-minute record. There's nothing
Yes.
inherently wrong with that. And one of my favorite albums of all time is like an hour and 20 minutes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think with a band like Linkin Park, they've come back with a half hour just like, and it's like, for my money, it's like 80% killer,
Yes. Yeah. No.
85%. But
Exactly.
then for other fans who love their modern stuff, like it's 100%. So
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, I'm so happy to have like a half-hour Linkin Park record that doesn't mess about, that has its fun, and also is like a perfect loop back on itself as well.
Agree.
And
Agree.
I love when bands do that with like when the last track bleeds into the first again. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so much fun, like so creative. I enjoy it too. Yeah.
Um, but tell me about the Bring Me the Horizon record and why that was your number one pick, because I have an opinion on this album that I won't share. That
Man,
I think we're on different pages with this record.
it's so funny because after we've had this spiel about Linkin Park, I'm so like my list is being actively shuffled in my head as we speak. Like I mean, if you had caught me even on a different day, I'd be like, Bring Me the Horizon, hands down, like they take the spot. But now I'm like, oh, like, but no, I can absolutely vouch for this album. Like I just they just know what they're doing. Bring Me the Horizon, they just know what they're doing. I think that every album that they have released, period, every album that they've released, I'm trying to think of a skip. I think there was that one drop in COVID that was kind of weird, and I didn't really engage with that.
Music
The
that we
one with the
listen to or
super,
whatever it is.
yeah, yeah,
Music to
yeah.
listen to.
I'm sort of maybe I'm a fake fan, but I don't even know if I listened to it once. Like
I definitely haven't.
I'm just gonna like pretend that one doesn't exist, but like, for a minute here. But every album they have dropped has had some kind of pioneership involved and like some kind of innovation. Like it's all they've always been ahead of their time and always been right on trend. Like I like not to the point where they are repeating trends to the point of staleness. Like it that they could have, very easily released an album that already felt stale by the time it was out. I don't know if I'm explaining that right,
No,
but
I understand what you're saying. It feels
yeah,
like.
for some
I'm sorry, go on.
everything that they've done has felt completely on the pulse at every single time. And I think that this album is no different. They're stepping into this sci-fi territory. They started that with post-human survival horror. They continued it with post-human next gen. And I think that next gen um is just like I think it's fun. I like an album that's a bit of fun. I think that there are look, it's really interesting that this is on my album of the year list because there are skips on this album for me. A lot of the I can't remember what they're actually formatted as, but some of them they're like remix or something like that, like or like I'm trying to think of it, or like .exe or something like that. Some of the interludes is what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah.
there's interlude tracks on this album that I tend to skip. Um, they don't really speak to me too much unless I'm doing like a really deep listen of the album. But the long form songs, like the actual, I'm gonna call them singles, even though they're not all singles, but like for the sake of the argument, the singles are phenomenal. I think that, we're talking top 10 statues, Utopia I think was maybe my song of the year. Um, you know, Amen, Kool-Aid, um, they've all been so the one with Aurora. I love Aurora. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. Limousine is what it's called.
Yes,
All
yeah.
of those like long form songs are so much fun and so like just I don't know, they're hitting a genre spot that is exactly what I needed this year, I think. Like I just really appreciate the sort of the way that Bring Me the Horizon are spearheading this entire industry right now. I feel like they're really like leading the charge, and I think that they deserve it, and I think that they every album that they put out is, like I said, right on the pulse. So that's a phenomenal achievement in itself. And even the live show that comes with it, the live package, like I saw them in April this year before the album came out. But they had released the majority of the singles, so I knew most of those. And oh my God, if you got did you get to see them on this tour recent, the I don't know, the post-human next gen
So
tour?
I haven't seen them this year, but I saw
Okay.
them headlining Download Festival last
I
year.
think it would have been the same
It
like
was, yeah, I mean
campaign.
they were still playing, they were still playing a lot of the singles. I hate Lost and Die for You. I'm sorry. I genuinely think they're two of the worst Bring Me songs I've heard.
Fair
But
enough. They were growers for me. I didn't like
yeah,
them at the start, but they grew on me hard. Yeah.
yeah. But I will say, and I will happily say, they deserved that headline spot because it was the showmanship was unfucking
Oh,
believable.
it was
The
yeah.
staging, they'd got like stained glass kind of things going on. It was like a church.
It was definitely the same tour. Like
Yeah,
we would have seen the same. I saw them down here when they were on the Australian. Naturally, Australia gets everything like at the end of the cycle. So we're seeing that show in April as opposed to you saw it last year. But yeah, you're right with the stained glass and the. Did you get all um the LED screen like the the character that they had, the angel or whatever they called it?
yes,
Like
yeah. So there was
oh, crazy.
it was really
The
interesting because
avatar.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Metallica were doing 2 nights of download last year.
Yeah.
They brought like their own big sound towers with screens on. So Bring Me
Yeah.
got to use those as well.
Oh, that's so
So
cool.
they were putting like that character on those as well as some of the other screens. So yeah, yeah, they definitely got to use them. And
Yeah.
I just remember watching it going, I saw this band in 2009 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the first, and that was like the first and only time I'd seen them. It was they were touring. It might not have been 2000, it might have been earlier. They were touring Suicide Season.
Yeah.
Like it
Okay.
was that long ago, and it was like a 1,000 capacity academy.
A meteoric rise, these guys.
And I remember I really liked that record back then,
Yeah.
and I still think it actually holds up quite well today.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking like going from that band to the band that got bottled at Reading to the band that is now headlining a 120,000 capacity festival, and the sheer quality of their live show now is just like, yeah, it's been a well-deserved, and I know there's been a lot of, and in my elitist days I was a Bring Me hater. I grew out of it, I grew out of that, thankfully. um
Okay.
but like I won't deny now that, like you said, they are probably one of the biggest bands in metal right now, like
Yeah.
newer bands in metal right now. There's like it's them, Architects, and Sleep Token,
Pretty much.
arguably,
Yeah.
or pretty much them, and it's probably them and Sleep Token, to be honest. Like Architects
Yeah.
haven't quite hit the same level of venue yet,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just an unbelievable arena production. I loved Survival Horror. I thought
I
it
love
was
survival horror.
so inventive and just like fearlessly creative with like the heavy sections, and the baby metal collab was really just great fun. This new one, next gen, is so interesting because they call it next gen, but it feels like it so much of it is just like the early 2000s, like early 2000s
Absolutely.
post-hardcore.
They
And
did
I
go
know
for
that
that
that's
like
come back round.
Deftones. They did go for that Deftones vibe.
Yeah,
On some songs like Limousine, and I think Utopia kind of
very
touches on that
much.
a little
Yeah.
bit as well. But you know what? that's what I think that's what I'm like, God damn it, bring me, just get it. Like they,
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
on trend
coming
right
back
now, you
around,
know?
isn't it? Yeah, it's on trend. And they release everything that they release is at the exact right time. It's funny to say that because like ironically, this album came out super late, like which I'm like it did, right? It was like
Yeah,
months or years
it
late.
was
Um,
I reckon it was probably at least a year late on in like
I think it was about a year because
for how long some of those singles were out. I'm sure some of them came out in like 2021.
yeah, yeah, and because of with everything that happened with Jordan Fish, I think that delayed things as well. But I just every time they release a record, I just like slap my knee and I just go, God damn it, they've done it again. Like they're doing things exactly when they should be happening. Currently, we're in a resurgence of Deftones, of those early 2000s shoegaze hard like post-hardcore bands. Um and I think that they are right in that precipice of like of revitalizing the past, but then also doing something that is fresh and innovative and like adding
Yeah.
that spin. They've just got a signature. They've just got a signature vibe at the moment, and I just really appreciate and enjoy that signature, and that combined with their live show makes for I think an album of the year package. Like I'm stoked for them. I think they deserve that spot.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, absolutely. And even though again, it's not in my top 20 even, I still think that like that's just because it's been such an exciting year for alternative music, and I do genuinely think that they're at the level they deserve to be, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
been
even
really fun to watch them grow. Yeah.
yeah, even if like there's like I said, there are songs on there I don't care for, but then
Oh, me
something
too.
like top 10 statues, Limousine, Utopia, like Kool-Aid. You're right.
All
They
with my
are
name on.
massive bangers, and it's like
Yeah.
they just yeah, they get it in a way
And they're
that
so
few
good
bands
live.
do.
Yeah. I think that something that they are pioneering as well, like something that they're really leading the charge with is making songs for live performance. Like it's a fine line with that one because a lot of bands fall victim to the problem of making songs designed to be performed live to the point where they're not enjoyable when you listen to them, in an isolated experience rather than like you have to be in the setting to enjoy it. Outside of that, they sound really generic and boring or like kind of cookie cutter, that sort of thing. I think that Bring Me have got a really nice balance of writing songs that just absolutely go off live and they're built on that like hands up or like jump jump jump, that kind of engagement, that crowd interaction, like those you can tell during a certain song like Bullet with My Name on, it's like, okay, this is going to be the section where you do this or do that. You can just tell when you're listening to it, but um it doesn't feel manufactured, it doesn't feel artificial. It's really interesting in that way. I think that Bring Me have hit the nail on the head. I think that Architects have like the band Architects are an example of sometimes they write songs that are made for the stadium that don't necessarily translate in your ears, in my personal opinion. Like that's kind of just to exemplify my point. I think that Bring Me do it really well. You can listen to theirs in an isolated experience while also really enjoying them live.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, just to use Architects as an example, where I don't really necessarily enjoy them listening isolated, but then when you're in the live setting, it goes off. So it's a tricky game that they're playing, but I think they're doing it really well.
Yeah, it's a really hard balance to strike. And yeah, although I've not seen them in over a year now, I look back on that headline set as you deserved that as like a moment that solidified for me that because I looked at it and went, oh, finally download a book to someone that isn't like old enough to be my great granddad or like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
look, don't get me wrong, for although I don't listen to them anymore, Iron Maiden have been a huge part of my journey. A
Yeah.
band like Slipknot have been a huge part of my journey into heavy music. Again, I don't listen to them much these days. I've seen them a few times.
Yeah.
I really think Download needs to evolve and book new bands, and like every festival does. And to see
Agreed.
them book Bring Me for last year, I was like, oh, finally they've done it.
Yeah.
Now they just need to step up to the plate. And I feel
Yeah.
like they not only stepped up to the plate, but like, and again, I love Metallica. They've done great things for music. I thought they were better than Metallica. Like,
Absolutely, they were. And I'm not surprised that you said that. Like it is so important that these major festivals usher in the new generation and they really embrace it because someone has to become the next Metallica. And I don't
yeah,
mean that in terms of sound. I don't mean the next Metallica in terms of, oh, like they sound like Metallica, so therefore they are the next Metallica. I mean in terms of scale and just magnitude at these events. Like
yeah. If we don't promote the
someone
next
needs to fill
generation of
those shoes.
headliners, we're not going to have them.
We're not gonna have one. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like that's what I meant, like harkening back to a few minutes ago when I was talking about these bands that have, had their time. They could they could hang it up any day now and people would be satisfied, because they've had incredible careers.
Yeah,
It's really important, yeah, to embrace and to like welcome in the next generation. Like Parkway Drive are a fantastic example of bands that fill those shoes of that next big band, like the Metallicas, the Iron Maidens,
yeah.
the
Which is really interesting because they've been
Black
going a
Sabbath.
while now.
They
Like,
have,
when
but
you
they
actually look
finally
at it,
reached that veteran status, I think, and that
yeah,
that icon status, which I think is so so exciting, especially
yeah.
being from Australia. Like it's
Oh,
mad.
absolutely. I'd like to see them do like a big slot because again I saw them at Download last year, and like Winston was out in the like on a I think on a like a box in the crowd, and he had a circle pit going around him, and it was like this
So cool.
gigantic pit, and all you could see while he was like you could just see like this massive grin on his face, like holy
Yeah,
fucking shit, we're doing this,
they
and I
really are
just
just dudes from Byron Bay.
yeah, and like I may prefer some of the earlier albums to like the last one or two, but I
Yeah.
genuinely think they're just like they deserve it again, and they're
Yes.
such such a great band and just seem like great dudes
Yes.
to play. I will say as well though, for next year, I'm really excited they've booked Sleep Token to headline Download. Because I just saw them headline at the O2 Arena, like 20,000 capacity. They sold out both nights there, and they are they have got the stage show to headline Download now. I think like I'm really glad they've booked them because they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna have. I honestly think they could do like a Bring Me level set on that big stage because the lighting was
Absolutely.
absolutely unfucking believable.
Yeah. Yeah, they were main support for that Bring Me tour that I went and saw. So
Nice
yeah, that was the most recent time I saw them. And it's funny just yeah, I think they are the band that grew the quickest.
for sure.
I have whiplash from seeing them, I think 2 years ago in like, a 1,000 cap room here in Australia, and
Yeah,
they were like second support or something. And now, yeah, they're headlining down. It's incredible. And yeah, I agree with you that they absolutely deserve it. And they are another one of those examples, like Bring Me, of the bands that are releasing like things that are on trend. It's exactly what the people want when they want it.
yeah.
They are right there. And
For
their
a
album
band
Take
that says
Eden.
absolutely nothing and doesn't let anything on, they are
Yeah.
on the money. Yeah,
It's
I've
quite phenomenal. It's quite a phenomenon. And their album Take Me Back to Eden was just it was
yeah,
beautiful.
I've recently re-listened to that and just been like, you know what? Yeah, this is really fucking good, isn't
It
it?
slaps. Yeah,
It's
yeah, it
like
does.
I can't believe. So I've seen them do two headline shows ever, and like the one was 10 times the size of the first. You know,
Oh my God.
I
Crazy.
saw them do a 2,000 capacity room a few years ago on the second record, and then to see them headline an arena on their third album,
Yeah.
all without giving a single interview as well. I'm like, you know what? Fair play to you. Yeah,
Play.
you've absolutely done the right thing by just going by riding that initial wave of kind of virality from Tik. Like they were already getting bigger, and I do
Yeah.
think they would have hit this point eventually. I just
Yeah.
think TikTok really pushed them, and
Yes.
like I support it because I do think they're making really great music.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming off albums and like sort of bands and records of the year, let's talk about next year for Relica.
Yeah.
What's in what? Well, what can you tell us basically?
Well, I mean, I can start out by saying that we actually just on this Good Things Festival tour that we just did, we road tested a new song, so you can all safely infer that we are back in the kitchen. We are definitely back in the kitchen. It's things are the pot is stirring. We yeah, trying our best to road test a couple of songs at the moment because that's not something that we really did for this for the album Secrets of the Future. We actually did we played the song Cave live as a demo when we toured with Baby Metal last year. That was really cool and that was what encouraged us to let's just get these songs out on the road, see what people enjoy, almost like use it as like a feedback machine for us and to um sort of assess what's working, what doesn't work, what goes off. Like I think it's good practice. It's good. It's really important to be able to have that synergy with your audience and know what they enjoy and what they don't. So yeah, we road tested a new track on this tour and it went really well. So that one is probably going to be our like front runner first and foremost sort of thing and but no we're just sort of like working really hard on new music and we are notoriously slow writers so we're trying our best to pick up the pace we like to take our time like that's just you know we don't like to rush but at the same time we do like I said like infamously slow writers it's like so we need to come on, like keep it up. But no, I mean in terms of touring, like there's lots on the plate too. Like we're starting the year with a regional tour with In Heart's Wake.
Nice.
That'll be really cool. When I say regional tour here in Australia, that means all the remote towns. Like I'm not sure if it runs the same. Like do you guys do regional tours over where you are in the UK?
Yeah, yeah. So we kind of, I think we maybe I don't know if we refer to them just slightly differently. I think you've got like the A
Yeah.
markets, you've got like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big cities, and then you've got the B markets, which are
B
like
market. No, that's
a
exactly
bit,
right.
yeah, maybe not entirely regional, but a little bit
Yeah.
more regional. And then I guess like B's and C markets is probably like a regional tour in Australia. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, very similar terminology. I just wasn't sure what it's referred to in the local markets over in the UK. But yeah, here we're doing a regional tour, which is it's going to be 15 dates across 3 weeks, like really tightly condensed tour. Going all and Australia is massive, so there's still so much of it that
I was going
we
to say,
haven't.
yeah, you have to spread it over 3 weeks just to get to each.
Yeah, exactly. No, to get there, yeah, there's so much driving involved. Um, the transit like is going to be insane, but all the way up to the top of Queensland, so that's from where I am in just north of Sydney. That is about you it's a couple of days drive. Like, and that's just the East Coast. Like that's half of the East Coast. So, um, all the way up there, traveling all the way down back to where we are, then keep going down to Tasmania. So down to Hobart in Tassie. So that'll be really fun, especially to see a bunch of places that we've never even seen of our home country and to play there. And alongside, legends in Heart's Wake, Ocean Sleeper, Inertia. So that'll be really cool. And yeah, we have our sights set on Europe. We're really looking forward to a Europe tour. We've got all hands on deck making it happen. It's just a matter of when. It's not if anymore, it's just when. So
Yeah.
we are we are really looking forward to being able to announce something for you all
Well, that'll be
for you.
exciting because
Yeah.
it'll be what your first time coming over here, won't it? I guess so.
It will. It will. Yeah. It's I can we are right there. Like I can feel it. Like we, especially after just doing this Good Things run, with so many internationals and like, you know, bumping shoulders with bands that we have prospects to tour with in the future. It's right there. Like we're gonna be in Europe really soon. I just know it. And obviously there are plenty more other places to tour as well. We have yet to see the States, UK. Yeah, it's going to be a big, I think it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big I'm going to call it like the next 2 years are going to be sort of pivotal for us, I think. Not
Mm,
necessarily just 2025, but lump that in with like early to mid 2026. We're going to have a really awesome couple of months there, I think.
nice. So really working hard, being on the road a lot, writing.
Pretty much, yeah. We're taking as much downtime as we can to write, like
Mm.
while like in between tours, for example. Like over summer, we're gonna do Australian summer. I don't mean your summer. We're gonna do yeah, like we're gonna knuckle down and get. We've got some really cool collaborations in the pipeline too. I can't say too much about that, but like some awesome like songwriting collabs that I think people will really enjoy. Yeah, we're just trying to be really experimental with our songwriting in 2025, like just sort of continuing on with some of the new developments we made during the writing of Secrets of the Future, which has meant, like just different styles of writing, like different processes, like sitting down in the same room or spreading apart or doing things remotely, doing things with other people. All of these different processes of songwriting, we are just trying to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. So
Yeah, see what
could
sticks,
be
see
some
what works.
interesting music to come out of it, I think. Some has
Yeah,
already come out. Like we've got plenty already down and ready to go. It's just
yeah,
building the back catalogue.
amazing. Oh, it sounds like it'll be really exciting then. But yeah, unless there's anything
Yeah.
else, unless you've got anything else, we'll say thank you very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk your ear off for about 40 minutes. Sorry.
Oh, the talking your ear off was all mine. Like, thanks for letting me yap about albums. It's been awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, thanks again.
Cheers.